Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. The fact that you are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. I apologize for the incredibly dull, unlit set. We're currently having load shedding, which is basically just a fancy way of saying that the government has turned off our electricity, so we've got no lights. So today we're going to be talking about Money Heist Korea, which is a continuation and spin-off of the original series, which I've been looking forward to since I learned that it was announced. So ultimately, we follow a group of criminals from both North and South Korea, and they are planning on, pulling off a massive heist. The trick of the matter is that they're not actually robbing a bank, they are robbing the mint. Basically, they're going to be making the money themselves inside the building and then stealing money that actually doesn't belong to anyone, which is an incredibly clever and unique concept. And we watch this group of criminals work together and in many ways compete with one another and eventually invite conflict into their group. We're watching these criminals ultimately try to succeed while disagreeing with one another. But then on the other side, we're also following the negotiator of the scene who's ultimately trying to get all the hostages out safely. So there's a lot of working parts, a lot of moving pieces within the series, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. Korea has been killing it with its Netflix releases lately. I would say in my top 5 Netflix shows, majority of them are actually Korean at this point. So every time I see a Netflix Korean property coming out, I get incredibly excited. And once again, this show delivers. Across the board, we've got great acting, we've got great performances. Very often I'm someone that's, watch it dubbed or watch it subbed, it's entirely up to you. But I'll say for this show, it's probably better for you to just watch the original and watch with subtitles because the actors give performances. Like they are really putting their all into this. They're making sure that they are delivering a high quality performance. And unfortunately, the voice actors or the dubbing artists for this show just didn't do as well as I was hoping they would, especially if you compare them to other Korean shows of this caliber. So I would say for once, actually just watch it with subs rather than dubs. Unfortunately, because I, quite ironically, am someone that, usually champions dubbing. I think sometimes voice actors do a great job, but in this case, unfortunately, they just really didn't deliver. Now, this is a continuation and a spin-off of the original Money Heist, so I do believe that fans of the original will enjoy this series as well. There's definitely not a major connection between the two properties though, so if you're looking for a direct continuation, if you're treating this as a true sequel, I feel like you are going to be disappointed because you're not going to be getting all of these returning characters. You're not going to be getting this progression of their character arcs and stuff like that. And unfortunately, that just isn't present in this show. But yes, again, I've brought up the fact that this is a Korean show quite a bit. It's because it does also follow all of the tropes of a Korean show. If you've watched a ton of them, you'll understand what sort of characters you can expect, the character motivations, character arcs, and then ultimately all of the betrayals that happen. The show, out of all of the Korean shows I have watched recently, is by far the most paint by numbers, unfortunately. You can see specific characters and you go, cool, this character is probably going to do this, and this. And, I would say 7 or 8 out of 10 times I was actually right with my guesses as to what's going to unfold. So the show can become a little bit predictable, but I would rather watch an incredibly well-made and exciting, predictable show than a show that just sucks. And thankfully, this is a show that doesn't suck. This is a show with heart, with a lot of passion put into it. A lot of people worked really hard to ensure that this was a well-made and enjoyable show. I've mentioned tropes. I was just speaking about the tropes of Korean shows. Unfortunately, this is also a heist movie. And heist movies are notorious for the tropes that they bring in. In fact, Rick and Morty literally made an entire episode making fun of the tropes within heist movies. And there's actually quite a few of those tropes within this as well. So if you're someone that can very easily pick up on tropes or, just patterns within movies, you're going to have a much more tough time watching this than the average viewer. Because just as it is predictable from a Korean viewer's point of view, or someone that watches Korean shows, if you're someone that consumes a lot of heist movies, you're going to be able to see what's going to be happening throughout the show as well. So yes, just to sum up everything, unfortunately, the show can become incredibly predictable. But on the flip side, the great performances and the well-written characters really make up for that. Again, I mentioned this, you can tell that this is a show with a ton of passion put into it. This definitely is a series, or rather a spin-off, that does, honor the original, but also make sure to pave its own identity and come up with its own unique storyline and characters. But guys, thank you so much for watching my review. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Do not be afraid to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope to see you guys again in another video.